Well, welcome everyone. We're here live at the Claremont Motorsports Park. Kevin Bazan, Jack Arute, Randy Wheelock, and Greg Wickham floating somewhere.
God only knows where Greg is. You know,
He could be lost.
Yeah, well,
He's over
he's
here.
in charge.
There he is. He's
Yeah.
right there.
There you go. We're going to get him over to join us here on the truly New Hampshire State Lottery sponsored podcast.
Yeah, here we go. It's a race day here at Claremont Motorsports Park, and we're getting ready for the second race of what is a 5-race series. Like the way that they have spaced out these races, one race per month. We'll be talking about the changes that some of the drivers have made since Monadnock, and it seems so long ago when we had that first race of the season over at Monadnock Speedway in Winchester, New Hampshire.
The Wickham Classic, and Greg's dad's honor, Bob Wickham. We just can't thank Greg. The mastermind has joined us, Greg Wickham, for those of you who don't know Greg. Greg, hard work pays off, my friend.
Yeah, it has. We've made a lot of changes this week. Jackie and I, since the last event, have done some minor things with the procedures, but wanted to make sure that the
I was
drivers had
worried
them.
he was going to move in. He called me so many times. Hey, let me run this by you. Hey, what about this? And then a couple nights I had to talk him off the ledge.
You get a couple extra rooms, though. You'll be all right.
I don't think so. Don't get any ideas, Randy, okay?
See what I can do.
I don't think I could find his house anyways.
But we're here today. Gorgeous weather. We couldn't ask for any better. Thanks, the Lord, for giving us everything we've got here. Greg, Jack, Dave Sutherland's floating around here somewhere. Dave will be in the booth with you to call the 125 laps.
He anchors the broadcast. I just add the spice, and we get a nice chili out of it. And let me tell you, I went around the racetrack, and I will be the first to admit, this is the very first time that I have ever been to Claremont Motorsports Park. And when I walked around the track, not that I'm going to compete here, but I always like to make a little track walk. I was blown away. I mean, this is a technical racetrack.
It is.
And it's considered, I think it races bigger than Monadnock. And it reminds me, and I'm going to be interested in especially watching in warm-ups, it looks to me like the fast way around is for you to diamond turn one and actually make it just one corner. Go in deep and as high as you can, then get the front nose and the right front to point, and then come up and bury the throttle. But down here in 3 and 4, Kevin, it's totally different.
Oh, it definitely is totally different. And that's going to be a great question to ask the drivers when we start to speak to some of them this afternoon here at Claremont. Going into 1, also coming out of 3 and going into 4, I've witnessed so many different races here where drivers don't judge turn 4 and they end up getting really, really close to where they come out of the pits
Right.
here at Claremont. So that's something to definitely be very, very careful about.
Well, and here's the other issue as I looked at it is we talk about tire degradation. We talk about the fact that this series restricts you to one tire.
One tire.
Well, actually, it's a total of 5. The 4 that you start the race on, and then you get what we call a change tire. This racetrack looks like it eats tires. It made me remember back in my ABC television days when I tried to explain to people how abrasive Darlington was.
Ooh.
And I brought out a cheese grater and 5 pounds of cheese. This thing looks like it's going to grate up tires too. So I think we're going to see a little bit of what we saw the first Monadnock race last year. Not so much the first race in the Whitcomb Classic.
Okay.
Quite honestly, because the temperatures, while they were high, I think the track didn't seem to eat the tires up. This place, I think, is probably a monster when it comes to that. So I'm looking at it strategy-wise and saying, all right, I've got the controlled pit stop. I got one Dr. Feelgood in my hip pocket. I come in. That's the only time that I can change that tire. So I think there's going to be a lot of maneuvering.
Yeah, and where are they going to put that tire too? We all know where they used that tire just a couple of weeks ago, a month ago at Monadnock. But where I think the strategy could definitely change tonight, and change with different teams as well. They've had a while to talk about how they approached Monadnock and how they're going to approach this track. That's a really good point. Where in this series we have unique racetracks, and they're all unique in their own way. And it's going to take an experienced team to make sure that they're able to conquer each and every one of them. We knew Todd Patnode was going to approach Monadnock in a certain way and be successful.
Well, I think he owns part of it, doesn't he?
Well, I wouldn't go that far that he owns part of it.
The asphalt part.
For sure.
He might own a bit of victory lane for
Right,
sure.
okay, great
with
point.
all the victories that he has had at Monadnock, but Claremont is definitely a different situation, and it's going to be interesting to see who ends up on top tonight. Here.
I think you're going to hear a lot of radio chatter, save your tires, save your tires, save your tires. And let's remember that in that first Whitcomb 125, we went a long time without a caution.
For sure.
I don't see
Makes
that
a
happening
difference.
here.
Right.
I
No.
do not see that happening.
I don't
For
either.
the
I think we
reasons
got. I think
Kevin-
we got more cars here than we had at Monadnock too, don't we? We're pretty close.
I stopped counting. That's how
Yeah.
many were lined up.
Okay.
What do you think, Randy? We were up to, I think we were up to 21 when we sat down and took up the
21
microphones.
before we took to the podcast, and I'm telling you what, there were still trailers coming in. So you're talking about an event that people are looking for. You know, we've got a new competitor. Greg and I got a chance to talk along with Dave Sutherland. New competitor here has been running dirt and now is going to run asphalt. And I tell you what, I watched Jason Bonnet. I watched him over there in the 76 tonight, or excuse me, the 79. And he's a dirt track guy. Has never run on asphalt before. He's got a Russ Hersey prepared car. So think about that at Claremont Motorsports Park. And he is just excited. They drove from St. Albans, Vermont.
Wow.
Wow.
St. Albans
Yeah.
to come see us.
Okay.
I think that's terrific.
So
I think that's awesome.
I think
we got
remember.
we got Maine.
Is there a special prize for the driver that comes the farthest?
We got to work on that.
Yeah,
one
so
now.
we're going to get a pack of this truly.
Truly, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's gonna need
Because it's
it,
going to be
right.
a long ride home.
Right. Exactly.
Well, we do have a couple of awards to pass along tonight. Fastest driver, right? The fastest lap for
Sponsored by the
qualifying.
Auto Mall and the Fairfields Auto Group, which we're so proud to be involved with. There'll be a representative here tonight for that. And, you know, the challenge is, I mean, we're not even, this is race number 2. We go to Lee USA Speedway in July the 15th. August the 14th to the Hudson International Speedway. And then back to Monadnock to crown a champion. Jack, man, we are going to be
I'm
stoked.
going to break some news. I'm going to break some big news forthcoming that you'll see for the very first time at Lee. You know, we had a lot of fun with the blue cone.
Yes, sir.
Right? The cousin to the orange cone that has its own
Its cousin,
Twitter
yes,
site.
yes.
Well,
Very close cousin.
we have brought the blue cone along with us for here.
Nice.
But we will be retiring the blue cone
Already?
after this evening.
Oh, goodness.
We will have the orange triangle.
Oh.
The folks up at Lee and at Monadnock have announced that they are going to go all NASCAR Cup style.
Wow.
And they're going to paint the triangle that we're so used to on the racetrack itself in
awesome.
fluorescent orange.
Okay.
But
all
fear
right.
not. We thought that what we would do at the merchandise tent, we would have an autograph session with the blue cone.
Oh, that would be so
at
cool.
Lee, New Hampshire.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. All right.
I bet every fan of this series would sign that. I know they would. I know they
Right.
would. Just to be a part of history.
Well, you know, that's what Jackie does. He likes to send out those little teasers.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, at one event, we'll just talk about the next one. That's how you do it.
The autograph book will have a page for the blue cone. That's
The blue
wonderful.
cone.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm completely distracted by modifieds right now, just taking a look at the pits, and I'm glad they set us up right here because we have a perfect view of everything that we consider to be important for tonight's race. Burn team, I heard that they were bringing, well, there might be something in my way. I heard they were bringing three modifieds
Yeah,
tonight.
that's what I heard, too.
I see 2 of them over there.
Not
Yep.
counting Chris Jackman. I mean, there was 3 other ones in the pit too, but I don't
Look,
know.
I think the
2.
results. I think the results from the first event, from the Whitcomb Classic. I think the jury was out before that. I think there were an awful lot of people who said, "Wait a minute, are they going to really be able to pull this off?" And look, I'll be the first to admit, we stumbled. We had our moments. I'm not sure pre-race is even over yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, and the microphone snafu and everything else. But the wonderful part out of all of it is the fact that we can adjust. We take the feedback from the fans at Greg's website. Well, I mean, at his Facebook page. We have direct communication with the competitors. And I think all of the different stakeholders in this series and this effort are looking at it and saying, you know what, it's different. They're focusing on us as shelf product, and they're out here supporting it.
Yeah, definitely have the support. There's no doubt about it. This is the hum of everybody in the crate motor modified world right now on the East Coast. You can't talk to anybody at any track anywhere that doesn't have a crate motor car that doesn't want to be involved.
And don't get me wrong, the money's good. Okay, the money's real good.
It's not going to help. Yeah,
But that's not what the issue is.
Exactly.
It's about them now having a reason for being, because all of these racetracks we go to, they host a Monaco Ford Series. They host a Whelen Modified Tour race. And these poor schmucks with their crate motor, stand on the fence and watch them walk out with all the big bucks.
Right.
Well, we've gone one better. And I'm not denigrating any of those series. They're all good. Tour-type series racing, I think, is terrific. But this plays right to the home team.
Right.
These are the... Wow, listen to that. That's a late model.
that's a
going by.
radical Ricky Blige show
Holy
right there.
cow.
That car rolls.
If that doesn't get you ready for racing, I'm not sure what will.
Well,
Not at all.
by the way, too, you're hearing a lot in the microphones. It's very, very windy today.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we've already had one casualty.
Yes, we have.
And poor Greg. Yes, we have. See, Greg looks at it over
Check
there.
off the tent.
Yeah.
New tent needed.
Tent.
That's why I'm facing
destroyed.
that way, Jack.
You
I don't,
don't
want to
look at the
I
tent.
don't.
That's right.
No.
But you talk about the fan amenities too. You bring your kids. With our association with Milton Cat in the past, we've got tiny little Tonka, Caterpillar style stuff in a giant sandbox. Got an autograph session. I don't know where he gets his merchandise. I mean, he's got everything. You know what? If you ever get left by your wife, just buy the merchandise and you can set up shop in your car. It's got everything. I'm just waiting for the pots and pans set.
The problem is he's going to need a van, though, because he's got everything.
He's got everything.
He's got everything. And the kitchen sink.
Yes. Yeah. I figured I'd bring that along.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, Kevin, what are you thinking?
I'm
for
just
tonight?
taking a look at some of the other competitors and maybe some of the changes that they made. I'm going to definitely keep my eye on Tyler Leary, who
Always.
usually on a Friday night you will see him down in Connecticut at Stafford.
Right.
He's made the decision to be committed to this 5-race series. He is here tonight, and he's not gonna waste that trip up 91. There's a $4,000 first place prize for it tonight. And all of these teams are going to go the extra length to try and get it.
I had Tyler Leary on my podcast, Jackaroots Wind Tunnel, and we alluded to the fact that as a youngster, when he was still a teenager, he and his dad fielded a late model car at Stafford Speedway. And I asked him what was the romance for modifieds, and he said, growing up, I always wanted to drive one. Let's not forget, he has had a terrific springtime at Monadnock. He's won, 3, Greg, or 4 races?
Oh, he
The Nest
he
Pacific.
won 3 in a row.
Right, ran 3 in a row.
Yep, that's how he started his season.
Yeah. And
So I think you're spot on with that one. I think
and
absolutely.
it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter. He still finished first, but yeah. I mean, he says, yeah, but my car was good, and I'm beating 4 or 5 cars.
Well, he's going to have to beat more than that tonight.
He's gonna have to
And he had a
beat,
good performance. Look,
yeah.
he had a very good performance in that first race.
Right.
There's no question that, Todd's going to be the guy to beat.
Yep.
Pat Note is the master.
Well, what do they say? Until you knock off the king, he's always going to be the king.
Well, that could happen.
Right.
And the other thing when the fans get here they should notice is that you'll see some fluorescent tape on the leading edge of Todd's roof. Every person that gets automatically seated, i.e. wins one of these races in his automatic, is going to be carrying that so that you can look down and you can see, all right, who's already in.
Right.
Because the other thing I don't think fans have really grasped yet, and it'll be more important at the next event, the stage points.
Yes.
That could end up determining if somebody points his way in, how many stage points did they accrue
Right.
during the 4 races.
And I'm going to step out because we're going to bring in the winner of the Whitcomb Classic, Todd Patnode.
Yes, Todd Patnode, who has a really busy weekend, of course, racing here tonight in the Weaver Construction Race here at
He's going to
Claremont
be at the Mad
Motorsports
Dog,
Park.
right? He's going to be at the Mad Dog
And then
race?
he's going to, he's not the only driver that's in the field tonight that is going to be racing tomorrow night in the Tour event over at Monadnock. Matt Kimball is also going to be a part of the action here tonight and the action tomorrow night at Monadnock. But here and now, in the present, getting ready for tonight's 125 laps here at Claremont Motorsports Park. Todd, welcome. Glad you're here with us.
Thanks for having me.
We stole him away for just a minute, so I told him I wouldn't keep him very long. Winner of the Classic. You've raced here at Claremont. Difference between Monadnock and Claremont? Give us the insight.
I don't know if there's a whole lot of difference. They're both round. They get 4 corners. You go as fast
And
as you
asphalt.
can. And hopefully we're at the front at the end.
And the green means go, and the checker means stop.
See, I mean, just ask Jack.
Tire management as much as critical here as it is at Monadnock?
Tire management's always critical. Anytime you run a modified feature that's over 40 laps, the tire management's pretty critical.
And you're like the magic man of tire management. I tell you what, I watch you. Sometimes you'll just like sit there and we're thinking, he's pacing himself. He's trying to set this up. But you definitely are a tire manager and know when to save the equipment and know when to hang it out.
Yeah, I mean, that all goes on the feel of the car right from the drop of the green. Sometimes, like Monadnock, you can ride out front. You don't have to worry about it. And other times, you get the feel of the car, whether it's a little tight or whatever, you have to wait for it to come into you.
When the car's perfect and you're already committed and you realize it's perfect on lap 10, and I still have so many, more than 100 laps to go, do you go into tire management, or when the car, and I'm talking about, really feels good enough not only to lead, but that you can go at 10/10ths, or do you have to enforce some discipline to say, yeah, that's great, but the pay window only opens at lap 125?
Yeah, even with the tire change, if the car goes neutral that quick in the race, you kind of get to, back off, because you still there's 3 other tires that are still going to ride with you for the whole 125 laps.
We're seeing in the modified tour type events a lot of what I call the modified shuffle, or when they come in, they take the rear tires and rotate them to the front tires, trying to manage with some of the tire rules that exist. I've never understood the advantage to it. You're going to be, I don't know if you're going to do that here today, but how do you decide where you want to put the one change tire at the stage break?
It depends whether your car was tight or loose at the beginning.
Is that right?
I mean, hopefully you're putting it on the right rear, but I've seen a lot of guys put it on the right front.
Well, at Monadnock, that was true.
Yeah.
At the 75 lap mark, every single team used that right rear, and we were talking about that early, Jackie. Is every team? What do you think as we go through the pits? Is everyone going to make that same decision tonight, or like you said, it depends on how the car is reacting?
I don't know. I think we'll be a little different. We're going to try the left rear.
Wow.
Oh.
Hey, wait. The way he said that, for those of you when you watch the video.
I'm writing that down. 4:30. Todd Patnode said.
Oh no. That was a head fake. Okay?
Oh, okay.
That was a head fake.
There's no mind games.
I guess what I really meant is I'm hoping all my competitors go with the left rear.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Okay. That's what he's hoping
because
for.
I'm going to run now and I'm going to break, and you can talk to him. I'm going to go tell everybody. You're not going to believe what Todd just said on the radio.
Another thing that Jackie was talking about, compared to Monadnock and Claremont, maybe this racetrack eating up tires a little bit more than Monadnock. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, the tires last a lot better on this track here. The surface is newer. It isn't as abrasive.
I thought Monadnock would be a little rougher on tires.
Yeah. If Monadnock falls off at 40, this probably doesn't fall off till 80.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a big
You
difference.
almost double out of them. You're good.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, I'm going to scoot.
Jackie, good luck. We'll see you later on.
I apologize, Todd, to leaving you with 2 chuckleheads here, but
Nice.
they're going to be part of the broadcast team, not only here but over on the PA. And round 2.
Round true it is.
We've lit the candle and the fuse is burning.
We're striking the wick and we're rolling on,
There you
man.
go. Have a good one.
Feel
Greg.
the thunder.
Yeah, the pits are really active right now. Trailers are still coming in here at Claremont Motorsports Park as we get ready for the big Whitcomb race here tonight, which is sponsored by Weaver Brothers. It's the Weaver Brothers Construction 125. Folks, this is the Truly Seltzer New York State Lottery podcast as we get ready for the big Whitcomb race.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
We're still in New Hampshire. We didn't cross the border. We're in New Hampshire.
Oh, we did?
New Hampshire lottery.
Oh, jeez.
It's okay. That's what I'm here for, buddy. I got you covered. I got you back.
This isn't on delay or anything. We can't go back and correct that. Oh well, maybe next time.
Todd, we can't thank enough for joining us this afternoon. We hope to be talking to you on the next podcast, which will be later on after Victory Lane. So, wish you all the best, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks for having me, and I hope everybody enjoys the show.
Great job. Thank you, Todd.
Before Todd came over, we were mentioning some of the drivers that are not only busy tonight, but also going to be busy tomorrow night. And a couple of Todd is one of those drivers that's going to be in action tonight here at Claremont Motorsports Park, but also tomorrow night with the tour race over at Monadnock. Tyler Leary is another one of those drivers who's going to be racing tonight and also tomorrow night over at Monadnock. And I'm trying to spot a couple of others, and I'll have to confirm with Randy. Sammy Ramo. Sammy Ramo
doing double duty. His
He'll be
hauler's
doing
to our left.
Yes, he was the first hauler here. In fact, earlier this afternoon when I'm not sure if it was windier then or if it was windier now.
Yeah, if you don't know Sammy's history, Sammy's been driving a modified since he's 13 years old. He just had his 20th birthday. So, wind is going to take us away, Kev, I think. We may have to lock ourselves down. But Sammy is a great competitor. His dad is Randy Ramo. Randy has always been extremely supportive, was a racer at the time when he started. Sammy started racing and stopped his career to enhance Sammy's.
Well, his dad, a really good street stock racer.
Awesome job. Started out in the days of Enduros. Randy used to run Enduros forever and would dominate the Enduro class.
Yeah, you better get out of his way because his patience... not exactly high on the scale,
and no chrome horn. He invented the reason for the chrome horn being not there on the street stock.
But Sammy, with some tremendous success in some other modified touring divisions like the Tri-Track series, he's raced really, really well, and he's looking to translate that success to this Whitcomb series.
Yeah, and the current point standing, Todd Patino's on top with his first win at the Whitcomb Classic. With 60 points. Sammy right there in second spot with 57. Great competitor, and he's here tonight as well. Brian Roby, Ben Byrne, Matt Kimball. That's your top 5. But look at the rest of this list. Tyler Leary in 6th, Nate Wenzel in 7th, Brad Sahinsky, who is here tonight. Russ Hersey. I'm not sure if Russ is going to be wheeling one of the Ben Byrne towing cars.
He has in the past.
It could be probable. We'll try to confirm that for you. Jeff Rollins is here. I promised him today I would not call him his dad, Brett. I unfortunately knew his dad greatly well, but Jeff is always an awesome competitor. I did not see Nate Johnson here yet, but we're going to try to get Kimmy Rivette, who is hanging around. Joe Kendall, I have not seen him yet. Tyler Javanpaw, unfortunately, took a hard hit down in Monadnock when involved with the wreck with Trevor Blow and those folks on the front stretch. Really twisted up some iron. I don't know that you're going to see him. Brian Chapin, been running really hot. We've seen him down in Monadnock, and I'll tell you what, I would love to see Brian show up here tonight. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be great. Chris Jackman also runs one of the backup Ben Byrne cars. And I did see Alyssa Rivera over here tonight. And like I said, Stephen Dickey's here, Cameron Hoole's here. There's some faces we haven't normally seen.
Back to the beginning of your list, Mr. Roby, another driver that's going to be doing the double duty tomorrow night. So there's more than you think when you sit there and actually think about those that are going to be competing here at Claremont tonight, going for that $4,000 and then heading and doing a tour race tomorrow over at Monadnock to the south.
And the tour is really put everybody together. I know there's some mixed opinions about tour racing between this one and the Whalen Tour and all the others that there's been some rumors out there, and we're hearing engines fire as well.
Oh, now that's the sound that I've been waiting for.
That and the smell of race fuel. Now I just need the tires and I'm high. I'm good.
So if you're out there watching or listening, folks, remember the tickets are on sale at the gate here tonight.
Yes, sir.
At Claremont, and tickets are $20 for adults, 13 and over. Seniors 65 and over are 15. Children 6 to 12, $5 each. 5 and under are free. Come on over and check out some racing here at Claremont Motorsports Park. If you're in the area, it's definitely worth the drive. When we were driving in, coming up on 91, as Randy says, if you can see the tower over at
Mount Ascutney,
yep, you're going to be racing tonight over at Claremont Motorsports Park.
Lots of folks used to swear by that tower. They were scared. They'd come up and round the corner, look at exit 8 after they dropped down from 7, look up in the air and see that tower. They were like, okay, perfect, we're racing.
That's right. And then we talked to Dave Sutherland after, who saw his as weather app and said 0 to 5% of a shower between now and race time. So we like those odds.
All we're going to do right now is just make sure that everyone knows what a great event these are. All these races are 125 laps. As you heard Todd talk with Jackie and all of us, you heard them say about tire management, that maybe the surface here just isn't as rough as it is down at Monadnock. I know that there was a lot of comments made about Lee USA Speedway, where I'm proud to work with that staff up there. And what happens is they say the same thing about Lee, that the track is very coarse. Hudson, I think each track throws a magic switch. Some guys that compete here on a regular basis, I think, are going to have the advantage over guys and gals that show up that are not competitors each and every week on the surface here at Monadnock Motorsports Park.
Yeah, one driver that I don't see on the list for tonight, I haven't seen him come in, but he does compete here very, very well. Made the transition to modified just a couple of years ago, Aaron Fellows.
Superman.
I think he would have, if he's not planning on coming tonight, I think he might be kicking himself, because I think he would have been very competitive in this field.
Aaron, a longtime racer in the late model sportsman series here and throughout the East Coast. Aaron has really always been a performer since he's made the switch to modified. He did make the switch here at Claremont Motorsports Park, and to that advantage, take a look around, look at the track. I'm telling you, this place is beautiful. I was, Dave and I were talking earlier, but the backstretch wall that's there was non-existent for a long time.
Oh yeah, now you're going back.
Yeah. Many, many years.
All right, Greg has a message now for Randy, and I'm sure it's very, very important as we are inside our podcast here. The Truly Hard Seltzer New Hampshire State Lottery podcast for the Whitcomb 5 Series. This is race number 2 of 5. After the race here tonight, they are going to Lee Speedway, Lee, New Hampshire on Friday, July 15th. That's the Friday right before the fun happens over at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, by the way.
Busy weekend.
That's going to be a really busy weekend. By the way, that night is going to feature the Grand State Pro Stock Series, and now I'm really getting off mark, but that's going to be a night where Corey LaJoy is going to run.
And Tyler Reddick.
And Tyler Reddick, too. They're
both going to be there.
Yeah, they're both going to be there that night running in that Pro Stock Series. That's going to be a really special night for the folks over at Lee Speedway. So put that date down definitely on your calendar. If you can't make it here to Claremont tonight to watch the modifieds in this Whitcomb Series, make sure you put down Friday, July 15th on your calendar for that race at Lee.
And then August 14th is a Sunday. You can go to church in the morning and then to Hudson Speedway that afternoon. And I'm telling you, Steve Graham, Ben Mazowski, all those folks, John Espernette, who I've had the distinct honor and pleasure of announcing with at Lee last year, is their main announcer. John has been announcing since he was 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
10 years old.
All right, that definitely beats me.
Yeah, both of us together.
Oh, Kim Rivette coming by. Kim Rivette, again, another one of the drivers that was competing in the first Whitcomb race over at Monadnock Speedway, and in race number 2 here tonight at Claremont. Kimmy, good to see you.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, we're doing just great. We're getting ready for a great night of racing. Are you ready?
We think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you're ready. I think you're ready to go. Kim, longtime racer in the modified series now, and I'll tell you what, I think each and every year I've watched you, after all those years running mini stocks, I think each and every year you improve. You know, your crew gets you dialed in. Monadnock, unfortunately, was not a good ending for your day. Tough break, got involved in a tangle on the front stretch. But tonight's new blood.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for you to see you in victory lane, and so are the fans of the 99 car, I'm sure. What do you have to say to all those folks out there?
Yeah, I mean, I hope we can actually have a good finish for them. We haven't had the luck this season so far, that's for sure. We got caught up in some stuff that wasn't our fault last time, and we even went to Monadnock a few weeks ago and tangled with the same person. Surprise. So,
well, I hope that person
there's not a
here
hint
tonight.
there, Annie.
not at all. I mean, I'll say his name, I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, but no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm hoping we can have a better finish and show what we actually have, because we've been really fast. It's just we haven't had luck on our side. I mean, we didn't even make it to the pit stop last time. I think it was like lap 50 when we got taken out. So we're really hoping we can show our speed. And
So we talked a little bit earlier with Todd Battenota for a few minutes, currently leading the points. What's different with the setup of the car from Monadnock to here at Claremont Motorsports Park?
not much.
No?
Not much.
Tires become more of an issue, suspension setup, horsepower change, anything like that, gear ratio?
We don't do too much.
No
We
kidding.
really don't. And we usually run better here than we do at Monadnock. For some reason, I don't know, we have better luck here normally. Our car goes pretty good here, and surprisingly enough, with even how different the tracks seem, with the modifieds, at least for us, we don't change much.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I would think gear ratio might make a little bit difference, or tire setup, or just your suspension changed. A little bit different coil maybe sometimes in it. Or
Just, different springs in the front, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we're definitely not perfect, so maybe we're missing something, but that's pretty much what we've heard.
But knowing Dad and your crew, there's no doubt about it. They're going to do a good job to figure that car out so you get the best car to
Yeah,
go.
I mean, Gary does a great job. My dad, my brother, everyone's been helping out so much. Brian Roby's been helping us a ton.
Awesome.
And obviously, he knows
He's had
a little bit, right?
Yeah, he's done a little bit around here. MRS champion last year,
Yeah.
so I think he's found his way.
He knows a little bit here and
so
there.
one or two things.
Yeah, yeah.
Kimmy, one thing that we didn't ask Todd, how do you approach qualifying here at Claremont?
I mean, I guess I approach it the same every time because I'm terrible at time trials.
Oh no! All right. So
I'm trying to get better.
The goal is to improve. How are we going to improve?
It's a very bizarre thing to go from heat races to time trials, and it's hard to practice it because you only do it, especially with my schedule this year,
Right.
once a month.
Mm-hmm.
So and for 2 laps. So it's very hard to improve that, and you're not on new tires. At least I don't have the money to be on new tires for practice. So it's very hard to improve that.
Yep.
But I think for us, it's mostly just setup. The difference in you have to change the car so much for those 2 laps, which is crazy to think. But it is such a difference. And we didn't know that until Brian was helping us out. And it's like, oh, well, we're not doing any of that.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah. I'm like,
It's
I wonder
funny how
why
that
the car
hit comes
doesn't turn. I don't know.
Oh, it's good to have him on your side, isn't it?
Absolutely.
He's a great guy,
definitely.
great friend. Love him.
And I hope to see, to those who haven't been following, Tyler Lescord was at Monadnock a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was great to see him. I know he
Awesome.
helps you guys, and he loves working with you guys. But kudos to Tyler and his recovery.
I was so happy to see him out there.
He had a pretty significant accident here, second race of the season.
Yeah.
And the Lescord family has been so involved in Claremont Motorsports Park for so many years. It was just awesome. He walked up and he says, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I think I should be asking you that question." And he had a smile on his face, and it was just great to see.
Yeah, his attitude doesn't change.
Never changes.
No.
After all he's been through, and then
He's still got that personality, and he's always got something to laugh about, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Great
The
family.
passion for the sport.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
Kim, anything you want to tell the race fans out there that they should be coming here to Claremont Motorsports Park to cheer you on, or something else that you would like to have, or how about sponsorship?
Yeah, so we have Perry Family Dental Care, who I work for over
Nice.
in Antrim, Keene, and Peterborough offices. We have Edmonds Ace Hardware. They've been on for a long time, and
They've been with you a lot of time.
Yeah,
That's
awesome family. And then Texas Roadhouse. They've been helping us out.
One of my favorite places to
Yeah.
eat.
And then Liz McBites.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just hope all the fans come out and have a good time. It's gorgeous out. I mean, couldn't be a better night for it. So
Right, yeah, we're right around, looks like close to 20 cars. So,
20 cars.
Perfect.
yeah. So, again, a little lower than we all hoped and everything, but hey, with what's going on in this world right now, we'll take it.
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
That's a good car count. We'll take.
Remember
what
who
we
you
get.
vote for. That's all I gotta say.
for sure.
Yeah,
Politics
and we
never-
won't go any further than that.
Politics doesn't have any part in racing.
Not at all. Not
Jimmy,
at all.
thanks for joining us. Great. Best of luck tonight, and we wish you nothing
Thanks
but
for
the
having
best.
me.
Yeah,
Awesome.
great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kim.
All right, Kimmy Rivette driving the 99 here at Claremont Motorsports Park here tonight as we get ready for the Weaver Construction 125. Great to see Kimmy competing in this series. She's not the only female driver that's going to be completing tonight. Also, Alyssa Rivera, who joined us
Yep.
at Monadnock, she'll be driving the 5A as well.
Correct.
I'm just going to move this microphone away from the headphones so we don't get too much more feedback. And looking forward to both of those drivers who definitely aren't able to compete on a weekly basis.
Right.
But they look forward to these big races like we're going to have here tonight.
Well, and Alyssa was at Monadnock and everything, but she had an issue with I guess power steering pump or something was going on and everything. So she decided to duck out and said, something's telling me not to race tonight.
Yep,
So
it's not worth it.
She didn't. She pulled it out. So this will be the first night for her. And, she's looking forward to it. She's happy to be here.
And for Alyssa Rivera, maybe we'll be able to speak to her a little bit later on, or maybe later on tonight, if everything goes her way. That she considers this her home track. So
she does, yep.
If she's going to perform well, it's going to be at this track more than any other.
I agree with that. Yeah, I'm curious, interested to see how she runs tonight.
Yeah, interested to see how a lot of these drivers run here tonight. We're at Claremont Motorsports Park, and we are getting ready for the Weaver Construction 125. And
Yeah, we got one more guest coming over here. That's probably one of the favorites possibly for tonight. What do you think, Kevin?
Absolutely. We've been talking.
Don't say his name yet.
Well, we've been talking about how this is just a big weekend for modified racing, and it begins here Friday night here at Claremont with the big Whitcomb 5 Series race. There is also, if you might have heard, a big modified race happening just to the south of us tomorrow, where this gentleman is going to compete. Randy, you brought over the stud muffin, huh?
Hey, I'll tell you what, I was wandering around the pits, and Kimmy did such a great job about asking about how she gets to where she goes, how much better the car's getting, and I find Brian Roby.
How we doing?
Good?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great.
Beautiful day up here today.
Yeah, it is. We Randy said it earlier. We had a little bit of a windstorm come through here and lost our brand new 10x10 tent, so it's a little mangled up.
So Greg's looking for a donation. If
Yeah.
anybody out there wants to donate a
Exactly.
10x10, he's in.
We're going to have a moment of silence before the race for the
To commemorate the 10.
Yes.
There you go.
So Brian, give us some history about Brian Roby and Claremont Motorsports Park. What do you like? What do you think is more of a challenge here than any other racetrack you go to?
So as far as our history is concerned, this was the second place I ever raced. Started at Monadnock, and the second year I was running is about 6 years ago. Ran up here. They were running the tour type mods weekly, every other week there at that point. So I got started here with that, and then they switched over to the crate mods. I don't know if it was the year after that, or 2 years after that, I guess. And the first year they did that was in 2019. I ended up winning my first track championship here in the crate series with that. So that's pretty much my background. Been running here basically every year since, in some capacity or another. 2020 was full-time. 2021 was just part-time. So, definitely been here every year, got a lot of experience. It's only 18 minutes from my house.
And I thought it was so
18
awesome.
minutes.
Yeah.
We should have stayed over.
Careful, I think Kevin's
You didn't get the invite?
Yeah. Kevin's looked into lay on your couch maybe before we head home
There you
today.
go. Yeah, got plenty of room.
So, MRS champion last year.
Yep.
I had the pleasure of handing you the trophy at Lee USA Speedway, and I'll tell you what, Brian, that was an honor for me because I've watched your career, and you're such a hard worker, and you study, you understand, you get the car figured out, and then you go help everybody else.
Yeah.
What's up with that, buddy?
I don't know. I guess I'm not your stereotypical racer.
For sure.
I didn't grow up in this. I didn't have family in it. I went to the races as a kid, here and there, but I wasn't here all the time. So I started real late as far as racing is concerned. I started when I was 28 years old, I believe it was. And that's been my whole goal, my entire racing career, is just work as hard as I can, learn as fast as I can, and progress as fast as I can to basically what I feel is play catch up. Everybody else started so early, they get a lot more experience or a lot earlier experience. So for me, it's catch up. So that's my whole goal here, is just to keep learning and progressing as fast as I can. And then luckily we've done well with it. And some other people have taken notice. So, the people that have been good to me, I like to treat them the same way. So I like to help out, those of the friends of mine that are running the same type of cars, the stuff I have experience with, I'll gladly help them out.
So, Kevin, we talk all the time, and Greg comes from a racing family. We talk about the racing family. And it's such a interesting thing to look around these pits and watch. If some competitor's car's off a little bit, maybe somebody goes over. Brian has a quote, I believe, that it's about, I don't mind sharing it with you and wanting to help, but you got to listen.
Yeah.
You got to listen. And it's great to see this just nature of working together.
Oh, absolutely.
Competitors working together.
And the family's working together. I mean, I
I think I just saw another modified come in.
Yep.
Oh, I think
Andrew Martell.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's
make
good.
it 21, Greg.
And I heard that Fellows might be showing up a little bit late because he's Friday and he's been real busy with work and everything.
Well, you tell that
Well,
work,
we were
work
talking
stops
about
at
that, too.
noon. Okay?
Yeah, right.
We go to
yeah.
the racetrack.
Yeah, if you're not here by noon,
I don't think that counts when you're running the show.
you start in the rear.
Talking about that family commitment, I just saw a great picture going by. Ben Byrne, he was pulling his tire rack and his son was pushing from behind.
Yeah.
As they came out of the tire barn.
A couple of
over
weeks
here.
ago on Facebook, I happened to see a picture of Jack in Ben's car, ready to turn some hot laps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that.
I think he's got a couple more years, but I'm sure it'll be pretty soon anyways.
All right, Brian, time trials coming up tonight. How do
Yes,
you
sir.
get around this track the fastest? What's your plan going into this when it comes to time trials?
Before you answer that, guys, I got to run. So see you, Brian. Good luck to you
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you very much.
Greg,
Hopefully
thanks.
we see you down there, at least in the top 3. How's that?
That'd be the goal anyways, right? See you soon.
Greg gets called to all different parts of the track, like constantly.
That's what happens when you're the master.
So Brian, my first question is, would you rather have group qualifying or time trial qualifying?
I like both. I really don't care.
Okay.
Both of them are unique. I like the fact that we get to run both. And I'd rather not just run heat races all the time. I'd rather not just run time trials all the time. So I like the mix. An event like this where you got the extended laps, the time trials is preferable for tire wear. Luckily, Claremont's one of the newer racing surfaces. So the tire wear isn't quite as bad. You don't have to worry about it quite as much as some of the other tracks we'll be going to. But even so, 2 laps versus 15 is still, vastly preferable. It's a lot less tire wear. Just keep that on the tires for the race, make the race a little bit more enjoyable for everybody, a little bit more competitive.
And to the race fans that don't understand, Kimmy related that there's a whole different setup for qualifying versus, when you're time trialing versus
Yep.
a heat race.
Yeah, so
She said she struggles with that, and you're trying to get that worked out for her.
Yeah, I'm trying to guide her in the right direction anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what everybody kind of has to figure out for themselves is how their car reacts to the racing surface. A lot of times when you do time trial, it tends to be so early that you could still be in the sun. On a day like today, it's hot and the track's going to be really hot, and if that sun is out, it's going to be real slimy. So you kind of got to know what the car's going to do, and you got to just get into a routine where you can anticipate the changes that are going to need to be made. So, if you time trial on a real cool night after dark, you may not have to make as much changes for the race as you do if it's like today here and we time trial in the sun. Then by the time we race tonight, it's going to be dark and a lot cooler. Well, then you're going to have to make some more significant changes. So there's a lot to it. It's not just go out there and turn left like a lot of people think. So
You mean that's not what you guys do?
no, surprisingly enough,
You
it's
might
not
have to
that easy.
shift in between. You
Yeah,
might have to
right,
do something.
yeah.
Feather the brake just
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, roll out of the throttle, roll back into
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, but they take the top 10 from qualifying and they'll invert that field, right?
They'll make an inversion after the top 10 have the top fastest 10.
Yeah.
And then so they're going to redraw the inversion. So Brian could get out here really set the fastest lap, and then be starting 10th.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's a nice thing. I mean, there's the pole award and incentive in this case, so you definitely want to be going for the fast time. But yeah, as long as you're in the top 10, you're in good shape. So, I mean, if you're not going to set the fast time, technically, the best place you could time trial would be 10th. So maybe you've saved a little bit on your tires, but you still could start on the pole. So it just adds an element to it. And I'm a big fan of that. I don't like necessarily just running and starting straight up. That's not really as much fun. Long race like this, it's not as important because you can start anywhere and still win the race.
Work your way up through.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's nice to have some sort of an invert, or in this case, a redraw, which is what I'm the biggest fan of. Is redraws. I like that better. So you don't know; it could be anywhere in that top 10. That's the way to go.
As Kimmy said, you could be way off in your setup of qualifying, and you could theoretically, if you could qualify 8th, let's say, by the time you invert, you could be on the pole.
Right.
And then think to yourself, I guess I sandbagged a little bit good at the right time.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and that's it. You want to be in the top 10, no doubt about it. But you don't necessarily have to set fast time. So
Correct.
it's a good position to be. I like the way it's set up.
So, Brian, we're here on the Truly New Hampshire State Lottery podcast. You have people that help you out. Who's your sponsorship for your cars this season?
Sponsorship for all my cars really throughout the year is Boucher Acoustic, RHR Construction, Maurice Enterprises, which they do a lot at this protracted facility. They have that open show coming up later in the year. And then Start Finish has helped me out. Mel's Pastime, Andy's Speed Shop, the list goes on. But yeah, those are the guys that are always with me every year.
Every little bit of help counts, though.
Oh, everything helps
Every
with this.
little
Everything,
counts.
especially now, fuel, even just to get to the track, the fuel, the food, everything's just, it's a lot more this year. So yeah, every little bit helps. Anything that anybody wants to contribute or get on board, we're glad to hear it.
All right, so where do you keep the key at your house? So after the race, we just go to your house, right?
It's a keypad, so I'll just give you the code.
All right, pass me the code. I appreciate that.
There you go.
See, always willing to help. Brian, thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem.
We
Thank
wish
you
you
guys.
nothing but the best, and thanks for being part of the Wigton
No, I
Vibe.
appreciate it.
Well, Randy, Pure Stocks are out on the track right now. There's 5 other divisions that are racing here tonight over at Claremont Motorsports Park. They have the LaValle Building Supply Pure Stocks. They have the Avery Insurance 6-shooters, the In-City Sugar Shack Mini Stocks, the R.E. Hinckley Street Stocks, and the Route 103 Late Model Sportsman Division, plus 125 laps of modified action here at Claremont. Brian is kind of one of my heroes. For someone who's never gotten behind the wheel before, and Brian kind of touched on that, he went to the races when he was growing up, always been a fan of going to the races growing up. When he got involved, he didn't get involved by jumping into a pure stock or a late model. He went right to modifieds, and he was successful going right to modifieds.
Well, he's successful because just as you see him, I watched him over there when I went over to get Brian and bring him over to us. I watched him. He's studying the last time he was here, the last time the car was here, what they had for a setup, where his time was best, where his time was the weakest. He's a professor of this stuff. He is looking to just constantly be better tomorrow than he was today, and he then takes that knowledge and passes it along.
Well, I think there's a good chance that we see him in the top 3 tonight here at Claremont. It's the Truly Seltzer New Hampshire State Lottery podcast. It's getting a little bit louder here, so I'm not exactly sure how much longer the podcast is going to go.
I think we're probably going to be done here. And Kevin, Avery 6-shooters are the ones, Avery Insurance 6-shooters out on the track right now. It's going to be so hard, guys, for you to hear us and us to hear what's going on. So we're going to cap this. We'll be back later. We wish you nothing but the best. Come see the Wickham 5 Series. We're far from over. This is race number 2 here at the Claremont Motorsports Park.
We'll talk to you soon.